The Connecticut Sun are probably going to go out with a whimper instead of a bang, but they have a very bright horizon in front of them. Welcome in or welcome back, and for the last time ever, we're talking about the Connecticut Sun. It was announced that the ownership group from the Connecticut Sun are selling their stake, and this team is going to be relocated to Houston to become the Houston Comets again. And while I'm definitely glad that the Houston Comets are getting their team back because I don't think they ever should have lost them in the first place, it is going to be sad because I was a Connecticut Sun fan. I've said it a couple times throughout my channel's history. If you're new here, though, I cannot hang with the West Coast start times for any sport. Every single team that I am a fan of is in the Eastern time zone because I am very, very sleepy. 10:30 p.m. Eastern start time? No thank you, I'm out. So I did announce that I have a new favorite WNBA team in the Atlanta Dream. I am still going to rock with the Connecticut Sun just one last time this season though. So let's talk about what we can look forward to, but first, we need to talk about who's not going to be with us anymore. Marina Mabrey is no longer with the Connecticut Sun. She was picked up in the expansion draft by the Toronto Tempo, and then they threw her a bag, so honestly, I can't blame her. But it was the world's worst kept secret that she didn't want to be here anymore, so I'm glad that she's had an opportunity to go show out somewhere else. She certainly didn't have the most efficient season last year, but 15 points a game is 15 points a game, and that will certainly be missed on this team. Bria Hartley also doesn't seem like she's coming back. Of course, I can't confirm anything at the time of recording this video, but it does seem like her time in Connecticut has come to an end. And again, her services are going to be missed. 9 points a game and 36% from 3 on 4 attempts a game is really hard to replace. And arguably the biggest piece that we're going to miss this year is the timeless wonder Tina Charles. She hasn't been in MVP or All-Star contention in well over half a decade, and still last year had 16 points a game. Her shooting splits are down, and she is certainly not the defender or the rebounder that she once was. But again, 16 points is going to be really hard to replace on this team, and we'll get to why in a second. Because just in those 3 departures, 30 points a game are now gone from this roster. And while I definitely think that there are some players that could potentially supplement some of that, it's going to be really difficult. Now let's talk some positives, or what could be positives. The Connecticut Sun brought in Diamond Miller. And Diamond Miller is such a weird scenario for me. It's rare that in the WNBA specifically, you see somebody peak as a rookie and then fall off of a cliff. And for this team this year, I'm really hoping that we can see something similar to that first year in the league, because last year was pretty bad. The good news, though, is that it couldn't possibly get any worse. Last year for Dallas in 15 games, she averaged 4 points a game, shot 33% from the field, and an atrocious 12% from 3. It literally can't not get any worse than that. I truly do feel like this is certainly a make or break year for her. So if we can get somewhere between 7 to 8 points a game and decent shooting splits, I think we should call it a win. Kennedy Burke is also coming to town after leaving the New York Liberty, and I don't know if there is going to be a ton of opportunity for her specifically because this team is gearing toward more of a youth movement. But 8 points a game last year on 41% from 3 is pretty good. And at the very least, this team now has a little bit of spacing. Olivia Nelson-Odoa is also pretty interesting to me. She is brought back for this year. 8 points a game last year in what could be considered a breakout year for her. Decent rebounding with 5 points a game, decent shot blocking with 1.2 blocks, and was pretty efficient, 52%. Even though I think Tina Charles, despite her age, is going to be very missed on this team, with her absence, this does allow Olivia an opportunity to show what she can actually do. That is, of course, unless Brittany Griner eats up all of the minutes. Brittany came out and said as much that she's signed to this team so they can be relocated to Houston. She's going to stick with them through this transition period. So I'm a little confused on this move, if I'm being honest, because while I definitely do appreciate a homecoming, especially in the world of sports, this fit seems a little weird because, as I mentioned before, this team is gearing toward a youth movement, and Brittany Griner doesn't exactly fit that role anymore. And I also thought it was weird when she went to Atlanta last year. The way that they want to play basketball is antithetical to how Brittany Griner plays basketball. So this whole move is a little weird for me. I think that it's just going to be a PR move once they do move to Houston. I am interested to see how it'll go, though, because Brittany Griner had a career worst year last year, less than 10 points a game for the only time in her career. I want to see her improve on that. And with Tina Charles gone, maybe there's an opportunity for her to go back to that scoring average, somewhere around 15 to 17 points a game. And before we start talking about their outlook and what we can expect from them this season, we have to talk about their draft. And the one that I think can make a real big impact on this team eventually is Gianna Neepkins. After spending 4 years at Utah, where she had a really successful career, was a real highlight scorer, she went to UCLA to take a step back role and was rewarded with a national championship. Her last year in Utah Utah, she averaged nearly 20 points a game and was hyper efficient. And when she went to UCLA, she was able to maintain that efficiency, shot 42% last year from 3. And she's also a really solid defender with a steal a game last year as well. I think that her 3-and-D ability is going to allow her to play a lot early on. Again, something that this league can never run out of is 3-point shooting, and she has that in bunches. So now let's talk about the last season the Connecticut Sun will ever have. And I don't have anything too positively to say. I think that the nearly 40 points a game that are going to be missed from Tina Charles, Marina Mabrey, and Bria Hartley are going to be so vital to replace, and I'm just not positive that there's anybody on this team this year that could do it. A lot of people inside the Sun fandom are very high on Anissa Morrow and Aaliyah Edwards. Rightly so, they are very talented. But they only combined for 12 points a game last year. And one of my favorite players in the league, Sanaya Rivers, is really good. I think that she has a chance to be an all-world defender at some point in her career. She only averaged 9 points a game. So while I think some of that point production can be replaced through proxy, through committee, I just don't think that this team has that A1 superstar that you need to lead a team, which is probably a good thing because I don't think that this team's going to be very good this year. And if they aren't, they could have a chance at Juju Watkins. They have their own first-round picks for this year and next year, so if they're super bad, they could get Juju Watkins and Sarah Strong potentially. Again, I think that this team has some really nice young pieces, but not enough to get you over to that competitive edge to be a playoff team. So I do think that this last year in Connecticut is going to be a pretty bumpy ride, but if you stick with them from Connecticut to Houston, you may be rewarded with some really good picks in the future. Suffice it to say, I think that they're going to be the worst team in the league by a pretty wide margin, but what do you think? Let me know down in the comments below. While you're down there, check my description. Got a link tree with all of my socials: Blue Sky, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, here on YouTube, obviously, and also have a Discord community that I would love for you to be a part of. That's going to do it for me today. Be kind, tell somebody you love them, and I'll see you in the next one.
Barely scraping by, trying to stop puffing. I'm trying to be one of the greats.